My name's Ron Hilsdorf. I live outside of town. My question relates to a bill that Speaker Silver sponsored back in August that would have given TAP benefits to illegal immigrants. I believe it was blocked in the Senate. I think it will probably rear its face again. Excuse me. I would just like your opinion on that. I think it'll come back someday. Could either of you comment on that?
Yeah, I had a discussion with Senator Gillibrand's office about something similar to that. Gillibrand wants to pass what's called the DREAM Act, and there is a proposal that's passed with the Democrats in New York City supporting the DREAM Act, the significance of which means that you and I, everybody in this room, will be offering even more subsidy to illegal immigrants to attend SUNY schools. They tried it at the federal level and it was blocked there by Congress. But now Andrew Cuomo and the New York Democrats want to pass it so that anyone in New York State who is a resident, so you pass the residency requirement, which just means you live here. It doesn't make any difference whether you live here illegally, but if you live here, then you are entitled to in-state tuition at SUNY, which is a much larger subsidy. Well, explain to me the logic of allowing somebody who is here in this country illegally to get lower tuition, i.e. more taxpayer subsidy, than an American citizen who might have grown up, let's say, in Pennsylvania or Ohio. The SUNY system was created to provide the citizens of New York State with an affordable education. And every time you allow more people in, whether it be from out of state or illegal aliens, to study at SUNY at taxpayer subsidies, you're increasing the cost to all of us. And explain to me what the benefit is to us. So and that issue, by the way, translates all across New York State government. Do you know last week, this is almost no press, last week the governor signed an order to require that New York State documents be translated into 6 languages. All documents. And this election cycle, in places like Rockland County and even up in Oswego, the Board of Elections is required to translate the ballots and all of the instructions and everything else into Spanish. There's the 6, I can't rattle off all 6. Spanish is obviously one of them. Haitian Creole is one of them. This is now the law of the state of New York, at our expense. There was a time when to become an American citizen, you had to know English. In fact, you had to pass a test. And you could speak your native language if you wanted to in your home or your neighborhood. But if you wanted the benefit of government services, you did it in English. And we're losing that part of our identity. And it's a Democrat Party agenda. They're the ones that are for it. I'm not aware of any Republican that is in favor of it. So make your choice.
Let me get this right. So because you were born here under no will of your own, you have worked hard in school to get into college, you want to better yourself, to get yourself out of poverty and be able to help support your family, your community, and others around you. You, because you weren't born, you didn't get to choose where you wanted to be born, you should not get the same benefit of the kid sitting next to you who was born here legally, who wants to just smoke pot and screw around his whole friggin' career in college. But that's okay, because, you know, we're going to pay for him because he was here legally, but this poor kid that's working their ass off to get what they want, and to no fault of their own, they can't, they're supposed to just go work in the ditches, and that's all right, it's okay for you, because you're just some poor immigrant who, you know, you aren't here legally. Sorry, I don't buy it. If you guys want to buy into this fear-mongering, go for it, but I think this is ridiculous, and I would support allowing people who have worked hard to get through high school, whether you had a choice of where you were born or not, to attend SUNY school, and I'll pay for it, because I'm not afraid to pay my fair share like you people are. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Polly Holbrook from Hornell, and I've lived here a long time, and I've also been a teacher as well. And I think that I agree with Bill on the whole concept there. I'm not against any student getting an education. But I don't think that my parents had to work hard in order to provide for my tuition to go to Syracuse, or my sister to go to Rochester. They had to struggle in order to pay that tuition. And I really don't feel I should have to pay for an illegal immigrant who just came here or was born here, and that it's up to us to pay for them to get a SUNY education. I think anyone who wants to get a SUNY education should get it if they can afford it. Pay that proportion of whatever they have to pay as a non-citizen.
Okay, so following your logic then,
All
they
right.
probably shouldn't even get an elementary education or high school education because they're not here legally. So therefore, we should just say the heck with all of them. Let them start working at McDonald's when they're 10, or maybe they could wash floors down the local, you know, jail or something because they have no value. So why would we not
I
educate
didn't say
them?
anybody didn't have
No,
value.
it's the same.
I
It's
think
the same
everyone
point.
has value. Let's start with that.
No, it's the
premise.
same point. If we don't want to give them a college education, why do we want to give them an education?
I'm not against her getting a college education. I just don't feel that I should have to pay for it when my parents had to pay for mine.
You're
And
paying
struggled
for
to make the
their
money to pay it.
undergraduate education.
Yeah, well,
You're
I
paying for their
don't,
undergraduate
I
education,
think
what's the
we're
problem?
going way out, and I don't think necessarily it encourages the value of an education by handing it out. Just
So
because
basically, we should probably do away with the whole SUNY system, so only people that have an afforded education on their own would be able to pay for it. So only people who make, $350,000, I believe is the 1% cutoff, maybe they're the only ones that should be able to educate their people, and we just let the class system just be more and more diverse. Yes, sir.
Can I ask one question? Do we allow them in the military? If you're born here in the United
Yes.
States, are they allowed to fight for you?
They're allowed to go in the military even if they were born here. If they're not American citizens, they can go fight for their country, but they're not allowed to get educated, yes.
Do we deny them an education after they come out of the military? I mean, because they're the same kid. Do we allow them to go fight for you, come out of the military, and then deny them a SUNY education?
I think they get a free one.
They get a GI.
A GI Bill for them.
Well, there you go.
You have to pay into that GI Bill.
GI Bill isn't
It's not free.
It's not free.
Well, the
GI Bill is not
used to
free.
be.
You
No.
pay
Far
in.
from it. You pay it back.